screen.
Yep.
We have Sarah, Hannah, Jordan and Devon. And they appear on the screen. You'll see them all. As soon as the screen goes live, you'll see all the participants.
Yeah.
And so you're looking into this camera.
All beside you.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to our Google Plus Hangout here in the beautiful surroundings of Clarence House. Now, this is a very important occasion because it's the first time ever that His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, has used technology like this. In fact, it's new to us all. So we hope you enjoy the next 25 minutes or so. Now, we're here today to talk about the Step Up to Serve and the I Will campaign. A campaign for youth social action that's celebrating its first anniversary, and what a hugely successful first year it's been. And when we say social action, we mean taking practical action in the service of others, like volunteering, fundraising and campaigning. Now, as part of the Step Up to Serve and I Will campaign, the Prince of Wales has recruited 50 I Will ambassadors. Now, all 50 are playing vital roles in their communities and are also using technology, websites and forums like this to extend their reach and help even more people. We'll hear from some of those inspiring ambassadors today, young people who've made a huge contribution in helping others, be it face-to-face like this, or by creating their own forums or websites. Our aim today is to encourage and inspire every single one of you who has joined us for this Google Plus Hangout to get involved in the Step Up to Serve campaign and say, I will. Now, as I mentioned, we are joined by His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales. We also have Jacob Boysil from the Army Cadet Force, George Fielding, BEM and I Will Ambassador, Ronan Dunne, Chief Executive of O2 and Trustee of Step Up to Serve, and then we've got Helen Davis, a YouthNet online advisor. Also joining us remotely are young people from across the UK who are all making a huge difference and are I Will ambassadors. We've got 17-year-old Jordan Caldwell in Northern Ireland. We've got 19-year-old Hannah Palmer-Davis in Plymouth, 17-year-old Devon Witter in East Riding, Yorkshire, and our youngest participant, 14-year-old Sarah in Sutton. So I would now like to introduce the Prince of Wales, patron of Step Up to Serve and the I Will campaign, who can tell us a bit more about the campaign, what we hope to achieve and why you're backing it, Your Royal Highness.
Well, when I launched Step Up to Serve and the I Will campaign a year ago in the presence of all three party leaders, I set out a long-held vision that social action, including volunteering, joining various organisations and cadet units of all kinds, might become the norm for all 10 to 20-year-olds across the United Kingdom. To give all young people the opportunity to become involved in the service of others is, I believe, or believe it or not, an ambition I first spoke about nearly 40 years ago. And so you could perhaps imagine how proud I am to be the founder of this important campaign. What is unique about Step Up to Serve is that it harnesses the activity of what is essentially an enormous team effort. The campaign will not succeed without the drive of organisations and individuals from every sector. Having cross-party support also shows a collective desire to create worthwhile opportunities for both young people and their communities. I'm actually full of admiration for all those young people across the United Kingdom who are already contributing in so many effective ways, which are not only benefiting their communities, but are also helping them to develop their own character and skills, and thus to acquire that all-important self-confidence and self-esteem. Needless to say, I'm delighted that we are joined today in this Google Plus Hangout by some of those young people who have been using social action to help others, whether in some cases through technology or in person. And I am much looking forward to hearing from each and every one of them. I have to admit, though, that some modern methods of communicating, Twitter, Facebook and so on, are not exactly my forte yet. However, I'm well aware of current trends and realize that whilst you can never replace the importance of personal interaction, it is nevertheless possible to reach an enormous volume of people quickly through technology. So today, I can only urge organizations from across our society to join the Step Up to Serve campaign so that taking practical action in the service of others becomes the norm for every young person in the United Kingdom. All I can say is, as patron of this campaign, I will continue to advocate the need to challenge, inspire and motivate young people in the service of others.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So now then, let's hear from the young people who are making a real difference across the UK. First, let's hear from Jordan Caldwell in Northern Ireland. Jordan, there he is. It's over to you.
Thank you all very much for your time. I've been fighting anorexia now for almost 6 years. I've had many ups and downs, and I've been told that it's a miracle that I'm still here. But from that, I thought I would use my strength and courage to try and help others. In the past year, I took a real U-turn for the best. I've now done many interviews. I've had interviews with BBC News, BBC Radio. I've been on New TV with Fixers, and I was on the Nolan Show radio. I've also held presentations with students. That's planned for January. With 100 kids from 11 to 18 years of age, to try and make them realise that mental health is a massive thing in the industry, and that it is happened that male get anorexia. I also am going to hold one with medical professions, and I've held a mental health seminar in a church in my country with 40 old people that wanted to come and hear my story. I've also counselled 2 young teenagers that was on the verge of being hospitalised, and one of them actually said that it was thanks to me that she is now pulling through.
Well, Jordan, I must say it is enormously heartening to hear that you turned a difficult experience into a positive one, and are now helping others in the ways you've described. I'd long to know, has this interaction with young people really made the difference and changed your life?
Yes, it's given me so much confidence and belief in myself, and it's given me like realization that it is okay to voice your opinion and say, yes, I do have an illness, and it just gives you that extra strength in the days when you're struggling to just sit back and think of all the people that's backing you and the chance that you have to make a difference, and it's just outstanding, and it really has helped me a lot through it.
Thank you so much, Jordan. What a great first ambassador to hear from. Brilliant. Thank you, Jordan. Next, we're going to go to Jacob Boisel from the Army Cadets, who's here with us in Clarence House. You've been parachuted in quite last minute, haven't you, Jacob? But tell us then, when you started in the Cadets, why did you get involved in the first place?
Well, I got involved with Cadets because I was coming back from school. I didn't want to sit at home idle. I do something worthwhile, and joined Cadets, and now I'm a leader.
And for the people joining us in this Google Plus Hangout who aren't familiar with the Cadets, can you give us an idea of the activities and the sort of stuff you do on a weekly basis?
We do many activities. A few are first aid. We do cadet in the community, and expeditions such as Duke of Edinburgh, and the Army proficiency expeditions.
And you've become a leader recently, haven't you?
Yeah.
So what does this new role entail then?
Well, I take on the new recruits that join Cadets, and I teach them all their basic lessons that they need to know for the further stages of Cadets, and then I pass them on to the next stage.
And do you feel like you've grown in confidence by being part of the Cadets?
Yes, definitely, I've grown. Yeah.
And something we didn't know, sir, Jacob also helps the old lady who lives next door, which is a fantastic example, isn't it, of the spirit of the Step Up to Serve.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that, Jacob.
Oh, once a month, I help the elderly lady next door. I do help sort her garden out sometimes.
Good.
I've always felt that cadet groups of all kinds of beautiful organisations could be fantastically helpful in the event of floods and disasters and things like that. Warning off and helping older people and others. That's another aspect.
Thank you, Jacob. Well done, thank you.
But can I say, Jacob? I mean, you are a fantastic example, I think, of what the cadets and uniformed organisations can do, the kind of contribution you could make. And I really just wondered what it was that motivated you to get involved with the Army Cadets in the first place.
Well, it was partly my friend Tim Wallace. He kept pestering me at school. And
Good old Tim.
Yeah, and he was like, "Come on, join me," because he found it a bit difficult to fit in because he didn't know anyone there, and he wanted me to come along. So I went one night, and I liked it, so I stayed.
So you recommend it to others?
Yeah, definitely, sir.
That's a great thing.
Brilliant, thank you, Jacob. Okay, so next we have George Fielding, BEM, no less, we must add. George, you've achieved so much despite not an easy start in life. Tell us your story.
Well, some may perceive it as not an easy start. For me, being born with cerebral palsy was a luxury. It was something I'm very proud of. It has given me an identity and something that does distinguish me from the rest. I, therefore, have always had a passion to represent those who are disabled and prove that disabled people can be active in society and play an equal role in society with just a little bit of support. And my first taste of that, I would say, was being the first wheelchair user to complete bronze DAV. And that was completely out of the ordinary. So I just really enjoyed the shock on people's faces that I was doing this. And I think it made my exhibition something a bit out of the ordinary. But after that, I just really wanted to find an organisation that had the same mentality, that wanted to get disabled people out there. And I found WizKids. And ever since then, I've been in the hands of angels, really, because they have supported me every step of the way. And I now am the chair of their board of ambassadors. And we represent over 1,600 young people all over the country. So that is my great privilege. And through social action, I truly have been able to achieve my dream of being able to contribute to society.
Being in the hands of angels is such a lovely way to put it, isn't it? Thank you, George. Great.
But George, I do think it's marvellous and so encouraging to see how you haven't let your disability get in the way of being able to help others in this way. I mean, do you think that your involvement in social action has actually helped you to build self-confidence as well as being a vital component in your success?
It is the foundation for the life that I cherish today.
Yeah.
Social action is so important to me because it is an interaction with society, and it gets me out there, keeps me being active. The greatest joy that I have, and the greatest news I have received, apart from attending today, of course, was that WizKids has got funding, £5.3 million worth of funding, to give 10,000 opportunities to young disabled people in England over the next 3 years. And that is fantastic, because leading that, I'm able to reach those people and change those lives too. So it is the life that I cherish today, and it is something that I will never leave behind. No matter how old I am, I'll always want to be involved in society and the community.
George, it's a real honour to hear you speak. What a role model. Thank you very much. Next, we are going to Hannah, who is originally from the Isle of Wight, but who's joining us from her university in Plymouth. Now, you've really tapped into an area that can help a huge amount of young people, Hannah. Tell us all about it.
Thank you. Well, I'm part of Check It Out, which is a group of young people in the Isle of Wight who are trying to break down barriers between healthcare professionals and young people. And one way in which I've done this is I've devised an online chat service for young people to speak to health professionals completely anonymously, so that they can get the health advice needed. One way in which I thought that this was needed, especially on the island, is because young people, sometimes there's unsuitable clinic times, sometimes the appointments are time limited, and young people really feel rushed, or they don't feel that they're being listened to properly. So an online live chat service gives the option for a young person to sit for as long as they need to speak with a health professional and get sent to the right healthcare profession. Some young people were too embarrassed to go to GP surgeries or speak to healthcare professionals, or they just didn't know where to turn to. So this live chat really is about breaking down the barriers between healthcare professionals and young people.
Hannah, I'm sure you're a lifeline for a lot of young people.
But it is marvellous, Hannah, I must say, to think that you were able to provide real value to health and social care services by inventing a service for young people in conjunction with the NHS, so that your peers are able to discuss their problems anonymously. So it's only too apparent to me that your voluntary care of others, particularly through your involvement with the St John's Ambulance Brigade, has been instrumental in defining your further education and has obviously helped you to find a job in the NHS. So I just wondered, have you encouraged your friends to find ways of getting involved in social action?
I have. I created a Facebook page for myself, for my friends, and for the local community to see what Check It Out does and how we're helping the local community. And also, we've tried to get as many local people involved with developing an app so that local people can see events that are going on, health-related, fitness-related, so that in one on one app, people can see everything that's going on and get the health advice needed. And also I think it's extremely important to remember that the best encouragement for myself, my friends, and for any young person in social action is the fact that we are being listened to and that we are making a difference in the local community. And as young people, we can make huge changes to the community.
Yes, making a huge difference. Thank you very much, Hannah, for joining us. We're coming back now to Clarence House to hear from Ronan Dunne. Now, Ronan is the Chief Executive of O2 and Trustee of Step Up to Serve and the I Will campaign. So you're going to tell us, Ronan, aren't you, why businesses are keen to support youngsters who want to do some social action?
Yes, young people represent 20% of the population, but they represent 100% of all our futures. So it's a responsibility for all of us to invest in making sure that they can reach their potential and deliver on their ambitions. And what we recognize is that young people want to make a contribution, the stories we're hearing today, and actually social action is allowing them an avenue to express themselves and make that contribution to society. But we also recognize that social action is helping them to build skills like planning, like project delivery, maybe budgeting, that is actually work-relevant skills and also helping them to be work-ready. And that's certainly something we as an employer see in our business. So that's why we're keen to support the I Will campaign and actually ensure that young people have that support to be the success that they deserve to be. And I'd also ask other employers to also think about pledging themselves. We have 15 pioneer businesses supporting the Step Up to Serve campaign, but I'd encourage all other employers to think about how they can contribute and make a pledge as well.
I must say, Ronan, I think it's marvellous how you helped support this campaign, and I couldn't be more grateful. But I just wondered, in your experience as a digital technology company, how are you seeing people using technology alongside, you know, the more traditional methods for social good? Are you finding?
The great thing about the technology and examples like today is that it's allowing young people to share their experiences of having been involved in social action, but also share the issues that they want, that they're passionate about, that they want people to be involved in. So it's helping to spread the word. But that very fact is also allowing a whole group of new young people to discover the opportunity that social action may provide. And therefore, we're actually getting more people involved because they're understanding through social media that their friends and people that they know are actively involved, and there are issues in their local community that they can be interested in. And the benefit of those means that what we're doing is we're actually harnessing the technology, and we've seen from the examples that have been used today how the technology, whether it be a thing like a Google Hangout or a Facebook page, can actually help people in their social action.
Sure. Thanks, Ronan. This is a good place for you to do some headhunting, eh? All these people are so inspirational. Next, we are heading back out to Sarah, who is at her school in Sutton. Sarah, tell us your story.
Thank you. I became an online mentor back in December when I was trying to support young people online who are struggling with friendships, relationships, depression, and other mental health challenges. I go online most days after school to support young people, and I really love helping people through these times and knowing that I can help them through these tough times, and it makes me feel better about myself, and it's given me confidence as well. I'd also like to raise more awareness of mental health to help remove the stigma attached to it, and to also hopefully one day have mental health as part of the national curriculum.
Such an important issue, and Sarah at 14, so young, sir.
Well, I can't get over, Sarah, that at the age of 14, you've already found what appears to be a remarkably effective way to mentor others. So I just wondered why you got involved in social action in the first place, and what you personally managed to learn from your voluntary help of others.
I got involved in social action because I realised how much more needed to be done to support people affected by mental health, and social action is such a great way to send a message through society. and I've learnt much more about mental health and illnesses and how people are affected, and it's given me the opportunity to support people online as well as people around me.
Sarah, you're an absolute inspiration. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Now we are heading to East Riding in Yorkshire, where Devon is at college. Now, just tell us how you turned a negative experience into a very positive one. Over to you, Devon.
I became involved in social action because I was bullied most of my time at secondary school. So I got to a point where I realised that I just need to change and take what life throws at you. And I wanted to change that negative experience of being bullied into something which I could use to help young people who are suffering by using my own experiences. By doing that, I worked with fixers to create a website for teachers, where teachers can go on and look on and see what it is like to be bullied as a young person. The website provides them case studies and also lists the sort of effects and signs that bullying can show on a young person. And by doing that, it's using my experience and the experience of other young people who have been bullied to try and prevent it in the future.
Well, the key thing with bullying is that people often feel that they don't have anywhere to turn. So you've really ticked a huge box there, Devon.
Well, Devon, it is terrific to hear that you are combining physical visits, as going out and working with local organisations and media with technology to encourage an ongoing dialogue about bullying. And it sounds to me as though you have become an extremely valuable resource at the end of the day for teachers, and that your form of social action has been of huge benefit to others. But if I may say so, I'm also interested to hear how it has helped you personally.
Doing the Fixers website has helped me personally. I mean, all the stuff that I've done with anti-bullying has really helped me with my own confidence, because I think about 3 or 4 years ago, I don't think I'd have found myself standing up in front of a school of people talking about bullying. It's just something I wouldn't have done. But it's also helped me with other opportunities as well. I mean, I've become part of the help crew at East Riding College, and because of being a mentor, that was one of the reasons why I've been able to get that role.
Thank you, Devon. Thanks for talking to us today. And as you said earlier on, it's all about social acting, about helping to build confidence and self-esteem. And Devon is a shining example of that, isn't he? Yeah. And finally, then, we're going to come back here to Clarence House to hear from Helen Davis. Now, Helen is slightly older than our I Will ambassadors who we've heard from so far, at an ancient 25. She can reflect back further on her social action experiences and share with us how she has kept her social action going into her 20s. Helen, it's over to you.
So, as you said, I've been involved in voluntary youth work for several years now. I have volunteered for the last 2 years for online charity YouthNet, who support 16 to 25-year-olds online through a range of services. I moderate weekly online sessions that young people sign up to get support around a range of issues, most commonly mental health, relationships and self-harm. And I also support other volunteer moderators who work to ensure that the live chat rooms are a safe and trusted environment for young people to come to get support. As you said, it can be a bit difficult keeping this up into your 20s, but really, as we've heard today, there are a lot of opportunities to get involved in social action online, and that's really enabled me to carry on because it's so flexible and accessible. I can do it anywhere.
But you really could do with all the help you can get.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But Helen, I just wondered, because half the battle of Step Up to Serve is to get people involved, but then hopefully to discover that later on, getting involved like this in social action can actually be a benefit in later life. And I was just wondering whether you felt that you could also pick up some useful life skills from all this involvement. I mean, have you found that?
Yeah, absolutely. As Ronan said, you gain lots of practical skills from working on projects and campaigns. Yeah. And I think most importantly that we've seen from all the young people speaking today, you really develop empathy when you get involved in social action from a young age. And I think that's a hugely important life skill, being able to empathise with others and instinctively check and consider someone else's perspective on things. That's a skill that you can take into your relationships, your working life, and into your communities.
That's the thing, all your efforts make you richer people. Thank you so much to everyone for your fantastic contributions today, here and remotely, of course. It's so humbling to hear the incredible things, isn't it, that young people are doing across the UK to help others. Now, I have a challenge for everyone who has joined this Google Plus Hangout this afternoon. I would like all the young people watching this to think about ways that you could help others in your own communities and beyond. And for you to help young people play their part. Now, I don't know about you, sir, but I am ready to say, I will. Will you?